Welcome everybody back to the ABJ podcast, Truth Behind Illusion. Today we're going to be covering Moonwater, the magic, the myth, and meaning of Moonwater. Welcome to the ABJ podcast, Truth Behind Illusion, the show where we deep dive into the weird and wonderful, and wait, people really do that. Moments of pop culture, history, and human belief. And as always, the show is not safe for work or kids. They're probably not safe for anyone who gets offended by learning about something new as well. Tonight, we'll be talking about Moonwater. It's trending on TikTok. It's been used by witches, alchemists, farmers, and healers. Some say it's holy. Some say it's witchcraft. Some say it's total fucking nonsense. We'll dive into that today and find out where you lie. So what's really going on in that glowing jar under the moonlight? Let's find out. Trigger warning or content notes. This episode discusses spirituality, pagan rituals, witchcraft's history, and micro misconceptions around evil or satanic beliefs. Nothing here promotes harm. This is a cultural and historical exploration. I'm joined today again with Lilly from WitchCraftsByLilly. Before we get into anything, welcome back to hanging out with us here again today. Make sure you check the links below to follow Lilly or follow me on all social media. Again,
I'm sorry. Somehow I lost my face, and
because
now
you probably covered it. There you go.
Hello.
Yeah. So bring that microphone to you.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Here I am.
We're trying. Lily's learning mic technique with the wireless mics. She's been a little spoiled, so she's learning. She's wearing her little hat she made.
I used to be on screen with you when we were doing the live streams for like Monday Night Raw, and I was using a mic more often, and then I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So I got spoiled.
And then also check the links below for Truth Behind Illusion merch. So you can go ahead and grab the planchette t-shirt, or you can get any other of the ABJ t-shirts. If you do get any merchandise, thank you. It helps out. You can also check these episodes out or any other bonus content if you join our YouTube channel. There's a $5 tier, gets you all the content before everybody else. So you can say here, if you're watching this before it drops live, let us know in the comment section that you're here. Comments, likes, shares all really help the channel grow and get pushed into bigger markets. I just burped really bad. And then also on YouTube, you can hit the hype button, which will help us get pushed to more eyes. And if you're listening on the audio side on Spotify, you can leave comments that I can see. You can always shoot me a DM too if you really want to talk about the episode or have any questions or anything like that. My DMs are open. I'm not going to say Lily's are. She can say that if not.
Nar.
No.
You can if there's something that you want to talk to me about that is not personal and is more like just about the podcast, absolutely you can reach out to me on my business pages. If you have my personal page, you can reach out to me at any point in time. Respectfully, I don't give my personal page out to people whom I haven't met in person because I am sensitive about what I share.
Yeah, and if you really want to ask Lily a question and she already has just told you if she doesn't know you, don't message her, reach out to me. I will ask Lily the question.
Absolutely.
And then we could do it that way too, because I don't give a shit. I get messages all the time.
I'm just weird.
Yeah. No, it's not weird. It's being protective. 100%.
Yeah. I'm weird about it, I mean.
Yeah. So let's get into our first little segment here, the origins and early beliefs. Now, I did the research for all these Truth Behind Illusions. This is something new for me. I have never done this. I always let other people do it. So if I'm incorrect or I'm wrong or my research is not perfect, don't jump down my throat. I'm trying my best, okay? We're going to dive into some other older stuff.
I don't know if he's talking to you as much as he's talking to me.
It's a little bit of both. But also, too, we're going to be diving into some other topics that we've tried before on the podcast that people kind of roasted us on. I'm looking at you, Alistair Crowley. So don't cut me a break. I'm trying. These podcasts are essentially the entire premise of this is me learning about people and things I'm not too familiar with.
Right.
And then I can decide if I'm into it or not.
Things you're interested in.
We did talk last episode about vampires. I think I lie in the camp where I don't think they're real. I didn't really get into that last episode, but I do like the pop culture aspect of it. So we're going to learn about Moonwater. This is something I've learned since dating you about Moonwater. So I will kind of talk about what I've researched, and you would tell people how you make Moonwater, things that you're into, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Origins and early beliefs. The idea... Oh, yes. So we are recording this on Day of the Dead. So we recorded a bunch of episodes in one day. So as you guys are watching this, it's all done the same day. Just because I changed my t-shirt does not mean it's a different day.
I changed my beanie.
Yeah. So we do have Day of the Dead candles. Last episode, we dedicated to two people that we wanted to maybe invite them onto the podcast spiritually or in the afterlife to come hang out with us. Or you can do the same in remembrance, or you can just come with us in solidarity of wishing our past friends good vibes, I guess. I don't know where my lighter went. Oh, it's underneath here. So do you want to go first this time?
Sure. I'm going to actually dedicate this to one of my favorite celebrities that passed away, but it's someone that I always think about. So this is going to go out to Alan Rickman.
Wonderful. Always. I like him in that movie. He's my favorite part of the Harry Potter movies.
He was still problematic as a character. The character was still problematic, but I love
he's a great actor.
Alan Rickman as an actor.
The CBGB movie is one of my favorite. He was so good in that. I'm going to dedicate this one. I didn't really think of it because you just kind of hit me with it, so I didn't have it fresh in my brain. This is a Moonwater episode. Who do I think would appreciate this, or who can I give a little dedication to? I think, even if it's not Day of the Dead, I kind of like this of kind of
just
shouting
remembering
out,
someone.
Just because of the movie. I think it's good to bring up someone's name in remembrance.
Okay.
What movie? We'll Coco it. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought you were talking about a celebrity from a movie. That's what. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Who would?
Are you going off of a celebrity?
No, I'm trying to think of a person I know that passed away that would possibly be into this, but I don't really know a lot of people that were into Moonwater. All right, I got one. I don't know if they'd be into the topic, but just someone who I really, really care about, and I'm bummed they're no longer here. My friend Kelly. I'm not going to get into the last names or anything, but she was tragically killed in a car accident, way too young, left behind one of my best friends, my older brother, and some kids, and they're still very young. But man, she was the rock. Like, when it came to me and the guys, mom, she's no longer with us either. I'll probably do another episode for her in the future, but she would have not been into any of these topics because she was a pastor and everybody was very Christian. So I don't even know if Kelly would even be into this stuff, but they always knew who I was and that I like to explore and learn about different things. But she was just a great human being, a great person. More people, I wish, I don't want to put out too much personal information about them with last names and everything like that. But man, she was amazing. She was the closest thing to mom that we had when mom was gone. She really held a lot of people together because she was just a solid rock and strong woman. Just powerful in just the idea of just holding it down. So yeah, this one is for you, Kelly. Love you, and hope all is well on the other side. All right, so let's get into it here. The idea of Moonwater, it'll be fine. It'll figure itself out. The idea of Moonwater didn't start on TikTok, unfortunately, Lily.
No,
it began
long before then. Dang it!
What? I think because you cover your face or you turn too far. But yes, so the idea of Moonwater, I'll wait till you fix your camera. So
I'm trying to get it to get my face.
Back up a little bit. You're too close. There you go.
I had to get into the frame.
Okay. The idea of Moonwater didn't start on TikTok. It began with the tides. For the ancient people, the moon's pull on the oceans wasn't just science. It was magic. The moon could move the oceans, and surely it can move us. Ancient farmers used the lunar calendars to plant and harvest. Medieval Europeans collected morning dew under the moonlight for beauty potions. Alchemists inked the moon to silver, the purest metal, and believed lunar rays charged matter with purity. And folk healers prescribed moon-soaked water for fever, infertility, or spiritual cleansing. Over time, these ideas evolved from mythicism to modern spirituality, eventually landing on TikTok as #Moonwater, with millions of hashtags following. So, what draws people back to just simple rituals like the world being ruled by what draws people back to the simplest rituals like in this world ruled by science? Is it faith, nostalgia, or just humans needing a little bit of magic in this craziness that we call the world?
I think it's a little bit of all of it, to be honest. I think that, as a child, I think that I always wanted to believe that magic was real from like a fictional standpoint. Until I realized, and sorry, not sorry, I kind of got to an age where I was like, the Bible's fiction, so why can't magic? Like, if the Bible's real, then why can't magic be real too? And then I kind of just, it was a long journey to where I got to where I was, but kind of like finding my own faith with it. Like, I think that I found the getting into astrology, like there is a lot of science into it, and there is like tracking where the stars are and where the moon is and the different phases of the moon and things like that. And it kind of is like everything is in a cycle and everything happens in a cycle. And I was noticing like certain under certain moon phases I'd be happier, and other certain moon phases like my depression would come back harder and things like that. And it seemed kind of silly, but then at the same time it was really making sense, and I kind of like just dove into it, and I went off with it. And I think that me personally, I use moon water in a lot of different things. I was using moon water in my plants and noticing that my plants were looking healthier. I was putting moon water in my bathtub. Shut up. Don't even make that face. Here we go.
Or maybe your plants
Here we go.
Her plants are just thirsty, and she just
Maybe.
remembered to feed them because the fucking moon told her
But
to.
maybe
Sorry.
it's what I charged. Maybe because the moon was, or because my water was charged by the moon, and the crystals and everything else I put in my moon
Possibly,
water.
yeah.
Maybe it was the minerals in the crystals that I put into my moon water.
It's very possible, yeah.
But I was also putting moon water into, like, I would make moon water without any oils or herbs or anything like that, and I would cook with it, or I would meditate with when I would make my tea in the morning, and I would put like a little bit of my water in my teapot, and I would just like, as I'm stirring my tea bag in my tea, I would meditate, and I would say the same things over
Like
and
put
over.
intention into it.
Right, absolutely. But like, it felt better. My tea tasted better to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it just made me feel better.
Yeah, I don't mind people's spirituality or doing this, or people latching into like on TikTok of people finding these different things. The world's scary. The world's terrible. The world's full of people trying to con everybody and trying to do
Right.
all this thing. So if it gives someone a little escape, I'm for it.
Yeah.
But I do struggle when it comes to people using this as like the snake oil salesman stupid shit, or like, I don't mind if people listen to tarot card readings, or if you want to go to a medium, or you want to go to a psychic. Live your life. But also, like, you have to also kind of be careful that people are just doing this possibly for money, and they could be steering you the wrong way, and you should take it with a grain of salt. Don't base your life off of someone's opinion because they have some mythicism that they say they may or may not have.
Right.
That's where I get a little confused, where someone's like, hey, I know you're going through this really horrible disease or mental health problem, but hey, here's some moon water, it'll fix you. Like, no, you should probably
I don't
still
think anyone's gonna say it's gonna fix you, but it's like, hey, maybe this will help you feel a little bit
sure
better.
if you're gonna use it as a maybe a little bit of a mental,
Use
the
it for a
mind's
little
stronger,
self-care.
the mind is stronger than you think, and if this gives you a little bit of a mental boost to make you feel good, awesome. But maybe don't throw away your prescriptions or what
Yeah,
your doctors
no.
are saying. And
Right.
I think sometimes people get a little too caught up, and I think
So I will say that I do think that there are, maybe, I don't want to say that one person's disease is any less severe or more severe than
Sure,
others.
yeah.
However, some symptoms can be a lot more severe than others. And I would say that people who are having symptoms that, or maybe having, I don't know, the ailments of something that can't be seen, try moon water. Maybe it'll help you feel better. Maybe it won't.
Well,
Who
here's-
knows? But
Sorry.
if it is something that you're like, hey, I'm on prescription drugs and I've been on these prescription drugs for 19 years, and somebody told me to try moon water and throw everything else away. Maybe don't.
Yeah,
Maybe don't do
consult your
that just
doctor.
yet.
Just, you know.
right. Consult a professional, and then see where it goes.
Yeah, the lady who lives out of her van next to the Walmart shouldn't.
you just add the moon water to that already.
Sure. So moon water around the world. India, the Hindu traditions, the moon water deity Chandera, Chandra, thank you. Representation of emotion, fertility, and nourishment. During festivals, worshippers drink the water after gazing at the moon for blessings. The sacred nectar, Amorite, is mythically connected to the moonlight, divine and life-giving. The indigenous of North America, tribes named each moon after nature, wolf, strawberry, corn, to be some examples. Moon blessing water was sprinkled on crops, the sick, for healing or balance. Some used it to bless newborns, connecting lifestyles to lunar cycles. In ancient Greece and Rome, Artemis and Selene, the goddess of the moon, tied to purity, fertility, and water. So it's kind of wild that like Greece and Rome use the moon for fertility and purifying, and also India. And they didn't have phones or
Well, that's what I was
TikTok
going to say.
to like.
But that's also because the woman's body mimics the moon cycle. A menstrual cycle
Sure.
is 28 days long, or a typical.
It's
I
just
should
cool
say.
to me how cultures kind of
But I think that
think the same way to kind of figure that out.
the moon was always worshipped. Like it was a deity in many different cultures as well.
Sure, but you have to also think with the
Not just
zero communication between
Right.
cultures, and they found the same way of, hey, this connects to
the
this, and
sun
we should
gives
try
us
this,
and the moon gives us this.
100%. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft. Hecate, the goddess
Hecate,
of
whichever.
received libations at crossroads.
Libations.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Water, milk, and wine. If I fuck up a word, please jump right in and correct me because I'm also learning. China, the Moon Festival celebrates yin energy, cool, balanced, and feminine. Once again, linking it up. Teteos, the moon-charged water, is the way to balance inner energy during meditation. Eastern
Taoism. Sorry, I was catching up.
Taoist, thank you. Middle Eastern folklore, moonlit dew was collected for love or luck charms. Folk believed in not religion, but emphasizing romance, not evil. Across cultures, moon plus moonlight equals purification. The details differ, but the symbolism is the same: reflection, renewal, and rhythm. So what do these traditions tell us about the human connection to cycles, lunar or like otherwise? We kind of touched on that there a little bit, of just like linking femininity to the moon and lunar cycles. And
Well, so yeah, as I was saying, I think that a lot of things as far as women's bodies go actually mimic the moon in the moon cycle in lunar phases, as well as like the seasons do as well. The seasons change with the moon, as you were saying, with the each moon was given a different name, the harvest moon and the corn moon and things like that. But the lunar cycle is also very much the driving force of how our crops were grown as well. Like it's not just when the sunlight's going, but it's when the eclipses are going, and when you're able to harvest within that. Like a lot of life is given by the moon.
yeah. Well, let's get into our next segment, which is practical uses throughout history. From beauty to blessings, moonwater uses evolved with human needs. Ancient Greek women washed in moonlight dew for eternal beauty. European herbalists used it to cleanse wounds. Farmers sprinkled it on seeds before planting. Victorian spiritualists used it in seances for clearer communication. Today, it's rebranded for more modern self-care. Add to baths, spray in room for cleansing energy, drink small amounts for mindfulness, water plants for growth base, use in skincare, or yes, cocktails in moon water and ice cubes. A beer company that we support uses intention and some, I don't know why they use moon water, but they use intention and stuff like that with their beers. Pilgrim Brewing Company, Alyssa is very much into that as well. I think it's a cool little element that people may not even realize when they're indulging, which I think is kind of fun.
She actually is someone who I was kind of, because I know there are a lot of skeptics out there, and as you were saying before, of like, anyone can just throw water in a bottle and say it's moon water and I did something to it and whatever. I was very like hesitant when I had my first marketplace that I was going to sell my moon water, and Alyssa was working at Pilguru, and that's where I had my first marketplace. And I was talking with Alyssa, and I was showing her everything that I brought in, and I was going to give her a bottle just because I worked with her. I love her, and her and another friend that comes in there all the time, Sam. I had bottles set to the side for them, and then bottles that I was going to sell as well. And I was like, kind of doubting myself. Like, I don't know if it's really
You're
a good
pretty much
idea.
just selling the cost of the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically.
You're just making your money back on the bottle that you used.
But I also wanted to give that energy out. Like, that's kind of like, you know, and my business name is Witchcrafts by Lilly. That is kind of what I market is fashion stuff, but things that are witchy in nature. And so Alyssa kind of was like, yeah, absolutely, do it. And when I was like showing her like the intentions I put into it and the crystals and things like that, she was like, you know, you've definitely got like, you know what you're doing. You're not just putting water in a bottle and like, you know, kind of like lifting me up with it, which I think is another really big aspect of moon water is like, it isn't really like, there isn't really anything of like using moon water to hex your friends, you know, or enemies or anything like that. You kind of just use dirty water for that. It's not blessed water.
Yeah.
Like it's a very positive thing.
Whether it's science or symbolism, people find a comfort in ritual repetition. Dyslexia kicks in every now and then, and this is why it's getting me more practice of reading and reading out loud.
And you're doing wonderful.
A psychological anchor in chaos. So let's just jump right into the fourth segment because did kind of talk a little bit there. Is it evil or satanic, Lily? Let's clear this up. Moonwater has nothing to do with Satanism. It is not rooted in Satanism. It's not based in anything of evil intention. Modern Satanists, LaVey or atheistic, don't practice this. It's pagan and folklore rituals, centuries older than the concept of Satan itself. The evil label came from centuries of misunderstanding anything labeled witchcraft. So kind of a thing with your business too. Like when people think witchcraft, they think it's going to be spooky and bad, and it doesn't need to be that way. Midwives, herbalists, and healers were persecuted for using natural remedies. Before we had modern technology and modern science and modern medication, even still modern medication is used based on some herbalism and
absolutely
and pulling things from nature and extracting the enzymes and the DNA and the characteristics to put into medication to help people. So it's not evil, it's science. It's you know what I mean? That's why people are like, oh, they're putting GMOs in food. No, they found out that if you put certain things in things, you can make things bigger or grow faster or produce more to feed more people. Like, it's not evil, it's science.
I'm trying to remember the exact quote from the first Thor movie where he's talking about, like, you people call this is witchcraft and this is science. And he's like, but I come from a world where they're one and the same. And I'm like, that really is how it is, though.
Moonwater equals feminine, nature-based, non-violent spirituality, the opposite of evil. So a historian quote is, in medieval Europe, what we now call witchcraft was also just women medicine. The devil got credit for anything the church didn't control. So does it really work? Scientifically, moonlight is reflected sunlight. It doesn't change the water's molecular structure. Psychologically, rituals have real power. They activate focus, calm, and self-belief. Believing in a process, even symbolically, can reduce anxiety, improve clarity, and that's the placebo effect doing its job. Once again, the idea of the placebo effect isn't always negative.
Right.
If I can talk you in as a coach to self-belief and feeling strong and feeling confident to go out and win the game, you may not be the better, stronger athlete that day, but you came into the game with a better mind state than your opponent.
Right.
And your good mind state and your clarity and your self-belief can outweigh physical characteristics against your opponent.
Right.
So yeah, 100%. Spirituality. Moonwater connects people to natural rhythms, reminding us that we are a part of cycles beyond our control. A quote style note. Magic isn't about breaking physics. It's about giving meaning to physics. So for our discussion here,
there you go, Thor.
Does it matter if something's scientifically real if it gives it real comfort or focus?
I don't think it matters. Does it matter?
I don't think so.
It's like, okay, hold on, wait. Maybe it does. It depends on what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But,
Everything in moderation or in the right context.
right.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to...
Once again, if you're on antidepressants, keep them.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I think that even as you were saying before or as I was saying before, when you're talking about doing witchcraft, and I won't go into how to do hexes and things like that, but for the most part, everything that moon water is used for positivity, and whether it's actually working in a molecular structure being changed or anything like that, okay, maybe the molecular structure hasn't changed. It is still H2O in the container,
which is
that
not
you
bad
put
for
it in. Right. At the end of the day, but at the end of the day, like if it makes you believe in it a little bit more and it's giving you a little bit more positivity, who's it hurting?
But also
Who's
don't
it
cuvee
hurting?
stuff and just be like, hey, here's some shit from my kitchen that may be toxic. I'm going to put it in there and put the intention that it's good for me.
And that's
Research
another thing
whatever
that
you're
I would
putting into your
definitely-
body.
We haven't gotten into how I make my stuff, but when we do get into that, I'll talk about that a little bit more. But I do go into research before I say, okay, this is stuff you can put into a drink or whatever. I make sure that herbs or any oils or anything that I put into my stuff is food grade, just specifically to make sure that in case somebody does decide to put it into a drink, it might not taste the best, but it's not going to poison them.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that ritual recipes menu here. So new moon intention tea, if you want to try that, is start fresh, rosemary plus mint in clean water, leave overnight, drink while journaling for new goals. So there you go. Waxing moon growth elixir, silver bowl, basil leaves. Charge it while planting or working on new projects. Use a few drops on the wrist before work or performance.
So I'm sorry, what was the first one you did? While you do this,
New moon intention tea.
I'm going to read you what other things that you could make moon water for under that
Sure.
phase, if that's okay. So you started with new moon, right?
Well, these are just ideas. I have a whole segment on the moons
okay.
too.
Well,
yeah.
then I'll wait. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Not very
Full
late.
moon, beauty, and power water. Rose petals plus honey. Perfect for baths, face sprays, or self-love rituals. Waning moon release spray. Water plus sage plus black salt. Mist in your home or workspace, saying that you're ready to let go. Eclipse shadow brew. Obsidian nearby. Mugwort is optional. Used for meditation or shadow work. Powerful in perspective and not for casual use.
Again, I did this. I'm so sorry. My face doesn't want to stay.
Is it too much purple light on you?
It might be.
Turn your light towards the wall more and maybe put it more behind you. No, don't turn it that way.
That was actually perfect. Okay.
Like move it back towards your seat more, so it's more behind you.
Got you.
It's more of a backlight and not in front of your face.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We're
I'm
figuring
sorry.
things out.
I don't know where we were just at.
Your bottle with the mugwort. And,
Yeah. This actually had mugwort in it.
Mugwort,
before.
sorry.
And I was using it. Eucalyptus and mugwort for renewal energies.
Yes. Also, pro tip here: never drink water that's been left open outside unless it's clean and sealed. Safety
Sealed,
first,
important.
magic second.
Yes.
All right.
But I always make sure my bottles are sealed. The bottles that I put them in even have a gasket in them, so they have that airtight seal.
So we're going to go into the lunar cycle ritual planner. So I'll give some moons and then you can add on to it for each one. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. So phase energy / ritual. So I have new moon is to set intentions, intention tea.
So the only thing that I ever have for a new moon is for setting intentions. I'm not gonna say that there aren't other things that you can do under a new moon, but me specifically, the only thing I use a new moon for is setting intentions for the next month.
Okay. Waxing moon, growth and attraction, growth elixirs.
So depending on what phase we're in of waxing, if it's a waxing crescent moon, I use that for fresh energy to conceptualize, to focus on detail. And then if it's a waxing gibbous moon, which is really, really full, almost a full moon, I use that more for patience and nurturing, like just focusing on what I need to do to grow and like what I need to do to nurture myself.
Gotcha. Okay. Full moon, celebration and clarity, beauty water.
Peak energy, joy and gratitude, things that I'm grateful for, and things that I'm celebrating. But also, so when your new moon is setting intentions, the full moon is the complete opposite. So I also use that as I'm doing my celebration of everything that I just did for the last month, and I'm letting it go.
Okay. So new moon is what?
The new moon is when it's empty, it's dark. There is no moon. There, you can't see the moon.
Waxing is when it's crescent onto the right.
Waxing is when it's getting bigger, and waning is when it's getting smaller, coming closer to the new moon. When it's getting bigger, waxing is getting closer to the full moon, waning is getting closer to the new moon.
But it's coming from the right to full, and then dark is coming from the left to full.
It's coming from left to right fullness, and then it goes from fullness to dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. To new. Yeah.
Just giving people a visual.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to like.
If you're like me and you're like, I don't know what any of that means, I'm trying to give a visual representation.
Okay, so in days wise, the lunar cycle is 28 days, which is 4 weeks. So let's say I think the full moon is later this week. I'm not certain on the exact day, but let's say that, for instance, today is Sunday. Let's say today is the full moon. In exactly 2 weeks, it will be the new moon. It'll be 14 days. That'll be halfway through the lunar cycle.
You should put more of this on your content for your page too.
We'll get there.
Yeah, tag team the. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
Waning moons, which is pretty much full, but now just kind of coming from the other direction. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Release and reflection. Release spray.
So I have a waning gibbous moon, which is when it's the biggest, starting to get small again for my release and servicing, nurturing others. So the waxing gibbous, as what we were saying, when it's getting bigger, coming closer to the full moon, is more for nurturing myself. And then whenever we start going in the opposite direction, I'm focusing more on what I can do to nurture others.
What's our moon right now?
I'm not certain. I didn't look at it today. But a waning crescent is also where I do my rest and restore and reflection. And that's like when we're getting right back to, we're coming right up back on the new moon, which is where I'm going to set the intentions. So at the waning crescent moon, that's when I'm really looking at like, what all do I need to reflect on for the past month, and where do I need to set my intentions next in the upcoming new moon?
So right now we're in waxing gibbous.
Gibbous.
It's approximately 79 to 80% of the moon is illuminated. This is a phase between the first quarter and the full moon, meaning the moon's getting closer to a fuller moon each night. Right. The next full moon will occur on November 5th.
Right, later this week. Yeah. I was right. Whoop, whoop. Yep. Anyway, so right now would be the waxing gibbous.
Today's November 1st for people listening later on.
So right now, if we were to make moon water, that moon water is what I would be using to nurture myself.
So right now would be more going for...
we're getting closer to that full moon.
So right now it's growth and attraction.
Well, yeah. So, you said during waxing in general, but for the gibbous moon in general, I use that specifically as time for me to nurture in myself and focus on my patience.
Gotcha. Dark moon, rest and renewal.
The new moon. New moon, dark moon.
Rest and renewal, journal, meditate.
And that's when I set my intentions and meditate.
Yep. And then eclipses, transformational, and shadow brew.
So eclipses are when I cry the most because, basically I do a lot of rituals during eclipses. Like that's like a all day affair for me when I do them. I haven't done one in a bit, but that's like wake up in the morning before
feeling like no
fuck Diddy. No, waking up before the sun rises on an eclipse day, and I like start everything like hey, we gotta get up, we're gonna smoke and meditate, and then we're gonna do different little rituals throughout the day during eclipses, and then at the end of the night, or well, not necessarily at the end of the night, it could be in the middle of the day, depending on when the eclipse hits, then I'll do a specific meditation during the eclipse.
Gotcha. Farmers follow this pattern, artists too. Even modern business planners talk about cycles. The moon reminds us to pause, plan, act, and reflect. So psychological of the ritual. Humans crave meaning. When science can't control comfort of the soul, ritual steps in. Psychologists note the small repeated actions like lighting candles are prepping moon water, reduces anxiety and boosts mindfulness. It's meditation disguised as magic. The jar becomes a mirror, not the moon, but of yourself. And then modern pop culture and the commodity of magic. Moonwater has gone from altar ritual to internet meme. Millions of TikTok videos, Etsy sellers selling bottles charged of moonwater, celebrities posting full moon baths. It's a blend of commerce and spirituality. Just like astrology apps and crystals, people want connection, and the capitalism will happily sell it. So be careful where you're getting it, and maybe learn how to do it yourself.
Right. Absolutely. I would absolutely encourage you to do it yourself. As I was saying before, as you were saying before, when I was talking about selling my little bottles, I was selling these bottles, I think, for like $5 a bottle. I saw people during like solar eclipses, lunar eclipses that were doing like a gallon of water and being like, oh, I had this charged for under the eclipse and now it's $300 for the gallon. And you're like,
no.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't know that I trust that. I don't know that I would trust that.
Yeah.
Make it yourself. Learn how to make it yourself. It's not that difficult. All you have to do is have good intentions.
And we'll talk towards the closing on this, but
water.
there's speaking of full moon, look at that big booty.
Jesus.
As my mom walks through, she always trying to steal the fucking spotlight. In 2022, Google searches for how to make moon water spiked by over 600%. So people are into it.
They're learning.
I hope
it's called the Great Awakening.
We should have did this podcast in 2022. I'd have more subscribers. Anyway,
maybe you should start using the moon water.
We're gonna try. I'm down for anything at this point. I'm 9 years in. I want to build a community.
We're almost 3 years into the relationship. Start using the moon water.
Yeah. The symbolism and the legacy. At its heart, moon water is a reflection ritual. Not about chemistry. It's not about connection. When you set a jar onto the moon, you're joining thousands of years of humans who looked up and said, "The light moves me." You're syncing with nature, emotion, and imagination. That's not witchcraft. That's humanity. All right. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, little quick bonus segments here. Actually, no, that's not what we're going to do. Lily, plug your business. Let's talk about that.
I have this crochet business. Well, I have a business. It's called Witchcrafts by Lily. I would say that I mostly do crochet projects. Like this cute little, I'm going to take my headphones off here for a second. I made this cute little cat ear. I think I'm going to call it a familiar beanie. And if you want to know what a familiar is, stay tuned because I think we're going to be doing
next
a
episode
podcast on that soon. But it is a little kitty cat beanie. But I'm making scarves and hats and jackets, and I also repurpose clothes.
Do you think you can integrate these moon cycles and moon water into sprays and what we talked about to make your product set intention and then use it on the product for people? It's like, hey, this is a beanie I made, but also it's been sprayed with the waxing moon intentions.
I will say no. And the reason that I say that is because if I'm doing it just as a, I won't say no. I won't say a hard no on that. But for the most part, when I'm using, we'll get into how I don't know if we're still going to get into that on how I make some things, but when I make certain things, let's say that I'm using something on the intention of love, I'll use rose petals and I'll use rose quartz, and because those are all things that embody love, or they symbolize love, but it'll have the scent of rose, and maybe somebody doesn't like the scent of rose. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't necessarily spray my stuff with it, but maybe I would sell it in little spray bottles that if you want to do that on your own and like use it.
Well,
as a
let's get
spray.
into how you make stuff.
Okay, so usually I mostly make
You
my
use Dr.
moon water
Pepper?
during.
Oh,
You
sorry.
can use any. No.
Dr. Pepper cream is my favorite.
I actually left I have a silver pitcher in the other room that I'm using whenever I'm bottling my moon water. But for my moon water, this is what I use right here. So as we said, sealed water. So you get a full bottle like this, sealed, unopened, and our bedroom is on the second floor. So do you know what I do? I don't go all the way outside. The importance of moon water is that it's charging under the moon, right? So you want to get it, you want to put it outside when it's dark already, and you want to bring it back inside before the sun hits it. Okay? I am not a person who is going to go outside, especially in Pennsylvania.
She's not waking up early either.
I ain't waking up early. So what I do is, on the second floor, I have my bottles of water like this, however many bottles I want to put out that night. Let's say it's 3 or 4. I actually have a little miniature shopping basket, and I'll just put all of these in the basket, and I open the window, and I take the entire basket, and I leave it sit on the roof. And then I wake up the next morning when he wakes up for work. He usually wakes me up before he leaves, gives me his kiss goodbye, whatever. I open that window back up, and I plop it back inside before the sun comes out. But...
And then she goes back to sleep and she's late for work.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But whenever I am then bottling my moon water, what I'll do is I'll charge as much water as I want. 3 bottles, 4 bottles, 6 bottles, however much I want. I leave it in the plastic bottles. And then when I've decided what I want to use it for, if I want to use it for different intentions, then I'll bottle them separately. So maybe I only want to use half of this bottle for with a scent in it, with intentions in it for love or self-love or reflection or whatever it may be. And the other half of the bottle I'm going to use to make my morning coffee. So I don't want it with those things that are going to be toxic to me to drink. But whenever I do decide to bottle it with different intentions, what I usually do is I have our candles on it right now, so I'm not going to move it. But when I usually do bottle it, I have a whole meditation ceremony that I do. And I'll pull out my tarot cloth, I pull out my tarot cards, and I do a reading kind of as a grounding exercise for myself. And then I set my intentions into it. I'll meditate for a while and make sure that you're well aware that once I've started, I'm like, you'll leave me the F alone. Don't talk to me for the next 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it is. Just leave me alone. I'm about to do my thing. But I'll set that intention for the entire time that I'm doing it. So I have my little mortar and pestle here. I have a couple of different herbs, like I was talking about roses before. I use rose petal hips and things like that. I just get these go to your local stores, your local farm stores, gardening stores, herb stores, things like that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a witch supply store. But so while I'm doing my intentions, while I'm doing my meditating, I'm using my mortar and pestle here, and I have my little herbs inside, and I'm crushing them into it, and I'm thinking of my intentions the entire time that I'm doing it. I have my different crystals set out for whatever reason, whatever intentions I'm trying to put into it. But I also went and bought a bunch, I don't know if we're going to be able to show these, but I bought a bunch of itty bitty like crystal chips. I don't know if we can, there we go, you can kind of see that, little crystal chips. And I would put these, they're small enough that I can actually put them into the bottle with my intentions too. So I add different oils, like I said, depending on what my intentions are with them. And I have like little funnels even for depending on what size bottle I'm putting them into. But like I said, the most important thing is keeping them sealed for your health purposes. You don't want to get any contaminants into it. But then, like I said, another thing too, when I'm doing my herbs, I don't leave them in there for long periods of time. Like I'll put them in right before I'm about to use them.
Gotcha.
But that's for me. You do what makes you happy.
So how did I do?
I think you did really good, honestly.
Okay.
I think you had a lot of good points. And I think that I've been more nervous about truth behind illusion because of how skeptical that I think you're going to be about it. But I think that for someone who's super skeptical, you did very well presenting it, and not in a... I don't think that you were going to be disrespectful about it in the first place.
I mean, in the past, I only get disrespectful when I truly question people's motives, or if I question there's, I guess around the time Truth Behind Illusion was really popping off is the QAnon time, and it was very based in like fear mongering and political nonsense, and people got hurt from it. Like
Right.
It led to people lashing out and hurting each other. It led to people using car bombs and like, you know what I mean? Like it was generally like people being hurt from these conspiracy theories
Right.
and these thought processes. And we're still kind of in that, where there is a little bit of attack on spirituality. And I hate to be that guy to say like, this is my opinion. It's not, maybe it's not your reality, but I feel like the Christian base is playing the victim of, like, they feel like they're being oppressed because they can't live their beliefs, and they're actively going after and attacking other people for their beliefs. And it's just kind of, are their lifestyle, are the way they want to do things that's not hurting anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I do struggle with that. Or like, I think grief is a very powerful and a thing that people can be taken advantage of. And when people
Absolutely.
use that to
Because
hurt them,
I think
I
that
don't
when
like
people
it.
are looking for something to be healed with, no matter if it's grief or if it's physical pain or if it's mental pain, whatever someone's struggling with, everyone has their struggles and everyone's looking for some sort of relief. And when someone preys on someone that is just looking for help,
the Warrens.
that's disgusting. That's
I'm sure there's some.
disgusting.
I'm sure there's going to be some topics coming up that I will be a little more abrasive on, but this is not one I think as people. I mean, I don't think unless you're. I think anything in the world can have extremisms,
Right.
and I don't think this is something that I'm sure it's out there and it exists, but it's if you're taking this to an extreme, you should go talk to somebody.
You know what is one thing that I do think that we should have brought up that wasn't talked about? We talked about whether it was evil or not, right? Is moon water evil? Is it satanic? But what is holy water? Mm-hmm. What is holy water? Holy water is just a priest
Blessing
had an
water.
intention of blessing this water. What makes it so special?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody said it was special, right? So what's the difference between me saying the moon said it was special?
Spoiler alert: there's a lot of things that the Christians do that they consider witchcraft that they do within their own practices.
We could have a whole podcast on that.
Yeah.
But
But
we'll get back to that another time.
in closing, so is moon water real? Not in the test tube sense, but emotionally, spiritually, and symbolically. Absolutely. Maybe at this point, the magic isn't in the water. It's in the act of believing something gentle, natural, and human, and human, and that still matters. The moon, that's moon water, and that's it for the ABJ podcast, Truth Behind Illusion. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure you check the links below to follow myself and Lily on all social media. Buy some merchandise, support us. If you made it this far, please hit like and subscribe. Let us know if there's any topics you want us to tackle or if you want us to go over. And if you are here and you check out some of the other content, when the end of this video pops up, we'll have the whole playlist on previous Truth Behind Illusions with myself, Andy, Kelly, Tori, or whoever would raise the table in those older episodes. There are tons of older content you can go back and check out, and there's tons of new stuff coming. The table is open for people to join us, or you can join us remotely, or however it may work. Or if you don't want to join us, you can always just suggest a topic. We'll look into it, and we'll talk about it. But that's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys next time. Always question reality, but don't be blindly following it until it hurts you or causes you to spiral. We love you. See you guys next time. For Lilly and ABJ, this has been Truth Behind Illusion. Here's some music by the Converse Kid. We'll see you next time.
Bye.